The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as Maya Rodriguez counted the crumpled bills in her purse. $43. That's all she had until Friday, and it was only Tuesday. Her hands trembled as she counted again, hoping the numbers would somehow change. Mrs. Rodriguez? The nurse's voice pulled her back. Dr. Patterson will see you now about Lily's test results. Maya's heart dropped. Her 7-year-old daughter had been getting weaker for months. The fainting spells, the shortness of breath, the blue tint around her lips when she played too hard. Maya had ignored it as long as she could, praying it was just growing pains. But last week when Lily collapsed at school, she couldn't pretend anymore. Dr. Patterson's office smelled like antiseptic and old coffee. The way she folded her hands on the desk made Maya's stomach twist into knots. Your daughter has a congenital heart defect, Dr. Patterson said softly. It's been there since birth, but it's progressing now. She needs surgery, Maya, soon. The room tilted. Maya gripped the armrests. How soon? Within the next 2 months. Maybe 3 at the absolute latest. And the cost? Maya's voice barely came out as a whisper. The paper slid across the desk. $280,000. Even with payment plans, the deposit alone was more than Maya made in a year working at the diner and cleaning offices at night. I can't afford this, Maya said, her voice breaking. I lost my insurance when my ex-husband left. He took everything. The house, the savings, even my car. I've been borrowing my neighbor's old sedan. There are programs Dr. Patterson started, but Maya was already shaking her head. She'd tried. Every charity had a waiting list. Every foundation needed more paperwork, more proof, more time. Time that Lily didn't have. Maya walked out in a daze. She found Lily in the children's play area, coloring a picture of a butterfly. Her daughter looked so small, so fragile. Lily smiled up at her, missing her 2 front teeth, completely unaware that her mother's world was crumbling. Mama, look. I made this for you. Maya took the drawing, fighting back tears. It's beautiful, baby. That night, after tucking Lily in with extra kisses and whispered promises that everything would be okay, Maya sat at her tiny kitchen table surrounded by bills. Rent notice in red. Final warning from the electric company. Medical bills piling up like an avalanche. She put her head in her hands and let herself cry for the first time in months. Her phone buzzed. Another text from the landlord. 3 days to pay or they'd start eviction proceedings. Maya wanted to throw the phone across the room. Instead, she took a deep breath, wiped her eyes, and started making a list of things to sell. The next morning at the diner, Maya moved through her shift on autopilot. Pouring coffee, taking orders, forcing smiles she didn't feel. Her feet ached in her worn sneakers. She'd been wearing the same pair for 2 years, padding them with cardboard when the soles wore through. During her break, she sat in the back alley, eating yesterday's leftover fries and scrolling through her phone for miracle solutions she knew didn't exist. Loans she wouldn't qualify for. Fundraising sites that never raised enough. That's when she heard them. 2 older women at a nearby table, their voices carrying through the service window. I'm telling you, Barbara, my nephew did it and solved all his problems, one woman said. 6 months married to some girl he barely knew, got his inheritance, and they went their separate ways. Clean and simple. That sounds scandalous, Helen. It's not like that. It's a legitimate agency. They match people who need marriages for practical reasons. Immigration, inheritance, family pressure. Both parties benefit. Everything's legal and above board. Maya's hand stopped moving. She leaned closer to the window, pretending to wipe down the counter. There's an agency right here in the city, Helen continued. Wilson and Associates. Very professional. Helped my nephew when his grandfather's will required him to be married to inherit the family business. Maya's mind raced. Could this be real? Could someone actually pay her to get married? The idea seemed insane, desperate, possibly dangerous. But what was more dangerous than watching her daughter die because she couldn't afford to save her? She spent her entire break looking up Wilson and Associates. It was real. A legitimate business with reviews and a professional website. They specialized in arrangement marriages for people who needed legal spouses for various reasons. Some clients needed spouses for visa purposes. Others had family obligations or inheritance requirements. Maya closed her phone and went back to work, but she couldn't stop thinking about it. All through her afternoon shift, through picking up Lily from her neighbor who watched her after school, through making dinner from the last box of pasta in the cupboard, the idea grew in her mind like a weed, impossible to ignore. That evening, while Lily did homework at the kitchen table, Maya pulled up the agency's website again. There was a contact form. Her finger hovered over it for a full minute before she set the phone down. This was crazy. She couldn't marry a stranger. What kind of mother does that? But what kind of mother lets her child die when there might be a way to save her? She looked at Lily, pencil in hand, tongue sticking out in concentration as she worked on her math problems. So innocent, so trusting that her mama would fix everything. Because that's what mamas did, right? They fixed things. They found solutions. They did whatever it took. Maya picked up her phone again. This time she didn't hesitate. She filled out the contact form, her heart pounding with each word she typed. Single mother. Medical emergency. Willing to enter a legal arrangement marriage in exchange for financial help. She hit send before she could change her mind. The response came faster than she expected. The next morning, while getting Lily ready for school, her phone rang with an unknown number. A professional woman's voice introduced herself as Mrs. Wilson. She'd received Maya's inquiry. Could she come in for a consultation that afternoon? Maya's mouth went dry. Yes, I can be there at 2. As she hung up, Lily tugged on her sleeve. Mama, who was that? Maya knelt down and kissed her daughter's forehead. Just someone who might be able to help us, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. But Maya was worrying enough for both of them. In 6 hours, she'd walk into that office and possibly change their lives forever. She had no idea if she was making the biggest mistake of her life or taking the only chance she had left. The hours until her appointment felt endless. Maya dropped Lily at school, watching her wave before running to the playground. The Wilson and Associates office was on the 7th floor downtown. Maya felt out of place in her waitress uniform, still smelling of coffee from her morning shift. Mrs. Wilson was a silver-haired woman in her 60s. Her office felt warm, with family photos on the desk. Everything we discuss is confidential, she said, pouring tea. The words poured out, about Lily's heart condition, the impossible bills, her ex who'd left them with nothing. She told this stranger things she hadn't told anyone. Mrs. Wilson listened without judgment. You're not crazy for being here. You're a mother trying to save her child. That makes you brave? Maya covered her face and cried. When she'd composed herself, Mrs. Wilson spoke carefully. I may have someone who could help. A client needs a wife for legal reasons. The timeline is urgent and he's willing to provide substantial financial compensation. How much? Enough to cover your daughter's medical expenses completely with additional support. What's the catch? Strictly contractual. 2 years. Occasional public appearances. Otherwise separate lives. Then quiet divorce. Everything documented. Who is he? I can't disclose until both agree. But he's a businessman, financially stable, background impeccable. He needs someone reliable and discreet. A stranger. 2 years. But Lily's weakening heart was real. How much time do I have? 48 hours. Maya thought about Lily's butterfly drawing, about her lips turning blue when she played. I need to think about it. Mrs. Wilson nodded. I've done this 15 years. This could work. Sometimes unconventional solutions are the ones that save us. Maya left in a daze. Her phone buzzed. The school nurse. Lily had gotten dizzy during recess. Nothing serious yet. As Maya drove to pick up her daughter, she realized her decision was already made. She would marry a stranger. Because the alternative was unthinkable. Sometimes love meant doing the unimaginable. 2 weeks felt like 2 years. Maya had signed more papers than she could count, each one making her question her sanity a little more. Background checks, medical records, financial disclosures. Mrs. Wilson assured her everything was standard, but nothing felt standard. The night before the wedding, Maya couldn't sleep. She lay in bed listening to Lily's soft breathing from across the room. Her daughter didn't know. How could Maya explain that tomorrow she was marrying a complete stranger? That a man she'd never met was about to become her husband on paper? The envelope from Mrs. Wilson sat on the kitchen counter. Inside was everything she needed. The courthouse address, the time, a note that said her soon-to-be husband would handle all arrangements. Maya didn't even know his name yet. The contract called him Party B and her Party A. Morning came too fast. Maya dropped Lily at her neighbor's house, making up an excuse about job interviews. Mrs. Chen, bless her heart, didn't ask questions. She just hugged Maya tight and told her everything would work out. The courthouse was downtown, gray and uninviting. Maya wore the only decent dress she owned, a simple blue one from a thrift store 3 years ago. She'd tried to do something nice with her hair, but her hands shook so badly she'd given up and just pulled it back. She arrived 20 minutes early, pacing in the hallway. Other couples walked past, laughing and holding hands. They looked like people who actually wanted to get married. Maya felt like a fraud. Maya Rodriguez. She turned. A man stood a few feet away, and for a moment she forgot how to breathe. He was tall, probably 6'2", with dark hair styled perfectly and sharp features that looked carved from stone. His suit probably cost more than her entire year's rent. Even the way he stood screamed money and power. But it was his eyes that caught her. Dark, intense, and completely unreadable. "Yes," she managed to say, her voice barely a whisper. "I'm Daniel Ashford." He didn't extend his hand, didn't smile, just stated his name like he was announcing the weather. Daniel Ashford. Maya's mind raced. She'd heard that name somewhere before, but she couldn't place it. He looked to be in his late 30s, maybe 40. There was something cold about him, like he'd built walls so high nothing could get through. "Shall we?" He gestured toward the office door, already moving like he couldn't wait to get this over with. The ceremony room was small and impersonal. Beige walls, fluorescent lights, a tired clerk. 2 hired witnesses stood in the corner checking their phones. Maya's hands trembled as she stood beside Daniel. He towered over her. She could smell his cologne, expensive and subtle. Up close, she noticed the tension in his jaw. This man carried weight on his shoulders. The clerk began reading the standard marriage vows in a monotone voice. Maya tried to focus on the words, but they blurred together. Love, honor, cherish, sickness and health. Till death do us part. Lies. Every word was a lie, and everyone in this room knew it. "Do you, Daniel Ashford, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" "I do." His voice was flat, emotionless, like he was confirming a delivery, not promising his life to someone. "Do you, Maya Rodriguez, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?" Maya's throat closed up. This was it, her last chance to run. She thought about Lily's smile, about the surgery scheduled for next week. The deposit had already been paid. The hospital was ready. All Maya had to do was say 2 words. "I do." The clerk smiled, oblivious to the tension. "By the power vested in me by the state, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Daniel's jaw tightened. Then he leaned down, mechanical, and pressed his lips to hers briefly. It wasn't a kiss. It was an obligation. His lips were cold and he pulled away immediately. Maya's first kiss with her husband lasted less than 2 seconds. She'd remember that later, how empty it felt, how wrong. They signed the certificate in silence. Daniel's handwriting was sharp. Maya's hand shook. When done, the clerk congratulated them and handed over the document. "Well then," Daniel said, finally looking at her again. "That's settled." He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. Not just any envelope. It was thick, heavy. He handed it to her without ceremony. "The agreed-upon payment. I believe you'll find everything in order." Maya took it with numb fingers. She didn't open it. Couldn't. It felt too much like taking money for selling herself. Daniel seemed to notice her hesitation. His expression didn't soften, but something flickered in his eyes. "There's also information about the medical arrangements for your daughter. Surgery is scheduled for next Tuesday. The deposit has been paid. All expenses will be covered." "Thank you," Maya whispered. It felt inadequate, but what else could she say? "We should discuss the terms." Daniel checked his watch. "I have a meeting in an hour. Ground rules." They walked to a coffee shop across the street. Daniel ordered black coffee. Maya ordered tea she wouldn't drink. "You'll maintain your current residence," Daniel said. "Rent will be paid directly. You'll receive a monthly allowance." Maya nodded. "We'll need to be seen together occasionally. Family gatherings, social events. I'll give advance notice. You'll need appropriate clothing. I've arranged for a stylist." "I don't need a stylist," Maya said quietly. "You do." It wasn't cruel, just matter of fact. "The world I move in has certain expectations. We need to appear as a credible couple." The world he moved in. Maya was starting to understand that Daniel Ashford wasn't just wealthy. He was someone important. Someone people knew. "I have a daughter," Maya said, finding her voice. "I need to know she'll be safe. That this won't affect her." For the first time, Daniel's expression shifted slightly. "Your daughter will be protected. That's part of the arrangement. No one will bother either of you. You have my word." "Your word?" Maya couldn't help the edge. I don't even know you. Daniel's eyes met hers, cold, hard. No, you don't, and it's better that way. This is a transaction, Mrs. Ashford. We get what we need, play our parts, and in 2 years we walk away. Mrs. Ashford? The name sounded foreign. I'm not looking for a wife, Daniel continued, voice dropping. Not looking for companionship or friendship. I need to fulfill a legal requirement for my grandfather's will. You need money for your daughter's care. That's it. Maya's chest tightened. She'd known this, of course, but hearing it stated so bluntly, so coldly, made it real in a way the paperwork hadn't. I understand, she said. Good. Daniel stood up, the meeting apparently over. I'll have my assistant contact you about the first event. It's a charity gala in 3 weeks. You'll need to be prepared. He pulled out a business card and slid it across the table. If you have any questions or concerns, contact my assistant. Not me directly. I'm not often available. Of course he wasn't. Maya took the card, noting the embossed lettering. Ashford Industries. A phone number. An email address. Everything professional and distant. Daniel walked toward the door, then paused. He turned back, and for just a moment his expression was almost human. Almost vulnerable. Your daughter, he said. What's her name? Lily, he nodded slowly. I hope the surgery goes well. Then he was gone, disappearing into the midday crowd, leaving Maya sitting alone with her cold tea and her marriage certificate, and an envelope full of money that felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. She finally opened it. The amount inside made her gasp. It was more than they'd discussed. Significantly more. Enough for Lily's surgery, enough to pay off every debt, enough to breathe for the first time in years. Maya put her head in her hands and cried right there in the coffee shop. Not from sadness or relief or happiness, from the overwhelming weight of what she'd just done. She'd married a stranger. A cold, distant stranger who looked at her like she was a problem to be managed, not a person. But Lily would live. That's what mattered. That's all that mattered. Maya tucked the envelope into her purse, wiped her eyes, and walked out into the sunlight. She had a daughter to save and a role to play. She'd figure out the rest later. She was Mrs. Daniel Ashford now, for better or worse. Though standing there on that sidewalk, watching the world move around her like nothing had changed when everything had. Worse seemed a lot more likely than better. Lily's surgery day arrived faster than Maya expected. She'd barely slept, sitting beside her daughter's hospital bed, holding her small hand while machines beeped softly. Lily had been so brave through all the tests, making jokes to make Maya smile. Will it hurt, Mama? Lily asked as they wheeled her toward the operating room. Maya kissed her forehead, fighting tears. You won't feel a thing, baby. When you wake up, I'll be right there. The surgery took 6 hours. Maya paced the waiting room, drinking terrible coffee, praying. Other families came and went. Maya sat alone, clutching her phone. When Dr. Patterson finally emerged in her surgical scrubs, Maya's legs nearly gave out. The surgery went perfectly, Dr. Patterson said with a tired smile. Lily did beautifully. Her heart is strong. She's going to be just fine. Maya collapsed into a chair and sobbed. All the fear, all the stress, all the impossible choices poured out. A nurse brought tissues and water. Can I see her? She's in recovery. Give her another hour. Maya called Mrs. Chen to share the news. She didn't call Daniel. He'd made it clear she should contact his assistant. Besides, why would he care? She was dozing beside Lily's bed that evening when her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. How did the surgery go? It had to be Daniel. She's okay. Surgery went well. Thank you for asking. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Good. I'm glad. That was it. But Maya stared at those 3 words for a long time. Why did he ask? 2 days later, a massive bouquet arrived. Sunflowers and daisies, bright and cheerful, filling the sterile room with color. The card read, For Lily. Get well soon. D.A. Maya's throat tightened. Daniel had sent flowers. To her daughter. A child he'd never met. Mama, these are so pretty. Lily's weak voice was filled with wonder. Who sent them? A friend. Someone who wanted you to feel better. They must be really nice. Maya looked at the flowers and wasn't sure how to answer. When Maya went home to grab fresh clothes, she found her apartment transformed. The refrigerator was stocked with groceries. Real groceries. Fresh fruit, vegetables, milk, bread. There was a note on the counter. You'll need your strength to take care of Lily. Make sure you eat. Maya sat at her kitchen table and cried. She didn't understand. Daniel had been so cold, so clear about boundaries. Yet he was doing these thoughtful things. At the hospital, a nurse pulled her aside. Mrs. Ashford, all of your daughter's medical expenses have been covered. Not just the surgery, everything. Hospital stay, medications, follow-up appointments, physical therapy. This was beyond their agreement. Over the next week, other things appeared. A tablet loaded with movies and games, books, Lily's favorite snacks. A stuffed elephant that Lily named Peanut and refused to put down. Each gift came with a simple note. No phone calls, no visits. Just these quiet gestures Maya couldn't figure out. She texted him, "You don't have to do all this." "We had an agreement," his response came an hour later. "I know. Consider it an investment in my wife's peace of mind," his wife. The words felt strange. 3 weeks after surgery, Maya received an email from Daniel's assistant. The charity gala was in 4 days. A car would pick her up at 6. The stylist would arrive at 2. Maya's stomach twisted. She'd almost forgotten about pretending to be a real couple. The day of the gala, Maya was a nervous wreck. Lily was home recovering well with Mrs. Chen. But Maya had never been to anything like this. The stylist, Rachel, brought 3 dresses. Maya picked a simple deep blue gown. She barely recognized herself in the mirror when Rachel finished. "You look beautiful," Rachel said. "You belong there just as much as anyone else." Maya wished she believed that. The car was sleek and black. Maya sat in the back, hands trembling, watching the city pass. The ballroom was like something from a movie. Crystal chandeliers, designer gowns, expensive tuxedos. Everyone looked like they belonged. Maya stood near the entrance, frozen. She didn't belong here. Everyone would know she was just a waitress playing dress-up. "Maya," she turned. Daniel stood a few feet away, and for a moment neither moved. He looked different, still sharp in his tuxedo, but something in his expression softened when he saw her. His eyes widened slightly. "You look—" He paused. "Beautiful. You look beautiful." Maya's cheeks flushed. "Thank you," a small smile. The first real smile she'd seen from him. It transformed his face. He offered his arm. "Shall we? I should warn you, my mother is here. She's going to have questions." "About us?" "About everything." Maya took his arm, feeling the solid warmth of him. "What do I say?" "The truth. That we met, we married quickly, and we're figuring things out. Just leave out the arrangement part." As they walked into the ballroom, Maya felt every eye turn toward them. People whispered, "That's Daniel Ashford." "Who's the woman?" "I heard he got married." Daniel's hand covered hers. A gesture of reassurance. An elegant woman in her 60s swept toward them. She had Daniel's features, refined and aristocratic. "Daniel, darling." She kissed his cheek, then turned to Maya. "And you must be the woman who finally caught my impossible son's attention." "I'm Victoria Ashford." Maya shook her hand. "Maya, it's nice to meet you. When Daniel called to say he'd gotten married, I nearly dropped my phone. My son, who swore he'd never marry again, suddenly appears with a wife. You must be quite special." Again, Daniel had been married before? Daniel's jaw tightened. "Mother, not now. Where did you meet? How did he propose? Do you have family here?" Maya kept it vague. They met through mutual acquaintances. Her family was small. Just her daughter. Victoria's eyes lit up. "A daughter? Daniel, you didn't mention a granddaughter." "We're taking things slowly," Daniel said. "I want to meet her." "Soon," Daniel said. "Lily just had surgery. She's recovering." Victoria's expression shifted to concern. "Is she all right?" "She's doing much better now," Maya said softly. "You must have been terrified." "Daniel, I hope you were there for her." Daniel and Maya exchanged a quick glance. "He was very supportive," Maya said. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Daniel introduced her to dozens of people. Everyone seemed curious about the mysterious Mrs. Ashford. Daniel stayed close, his hand on her back or holding hers, playing the part of attentive husband. But something had shifted. The touches felt less mechanical. When he leaned in to whisper in her ear, Maya felt his breath warm on her skin and found herself leaning closer. During dinner, Maya was hyper-aware of Daniel beside her. The way he occasionally touched her shoulder. The way he listened when she spoke, like what she said actually mattered. When the dancing started, Daniel stood and offered his hand. "We should dance. People will expect it." Maya's heart hammered. "I'm not a very good dancer." Neither am I. We'll figure it out together. On the dance floor with Daniel's hand on her waist, Maya looked up into his eyes and saw something that made her breath catch. "Thank you," she said quietly, "for everything. The flowers, the groceries, the gifts for Lily. You didn't have to do any of that." Daniel's expression was unreadable. "Maybe I wanted to. Why?" He was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know," he finally said, sounding confused. "I told myself this would be simple. Business. But then I thought about your daughter having surgery and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Wondering if she was okay? If you were okay. Daniel, I know what I said at the courthouse about this being a transaction, but it's harder than I thought to keep that wall up." Maya's chest tightened. "So what are you saying?" He met her eyes. "I'm saying I don't know what this is anymore, and that scares me." The song ended. Someone called Daniel's name. The moment broke. But as they walked off the dance floor, Daniel's hand found hers again and didn't let go, and Maya realized that this arrangement had become something neither of them had planned for, something real. The morning after the gala, Maya woke to her phone ringing. Daniel's name flashed across it. He'd never called her before. "Hello?" Her voice was rough with sleep. "Did I wake you?" He sounded different. Less formal, almost uncertain. "It's okay. What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to see how you were." After last night, Maya sat up. "I'm fine. It was overwhelming, but fine. My mother can be a lot. She was nice. Intense but nice." Maya hesitated. "Daniel, she mentioned you were married before." "You never told me that." Silence. Then his voice quieter. "Can I come over? This isn't a conversation for the phone." An hour later, Daniel stood at her door in jeans and a sweater. More human, less untouchable. He held 2 coffee cups and a bakery bag. "I didn't know how you take your coffee, so I got both with cream and sugar on the side." Maya let him in. Daniel looked around at the crayon drawings on the walls, Lily's toys. He didn't look uncomfortable. He looked genuinely interested. Lily's drawings. He moved closer to the wall. "Yeah, she's obsessed with butterflies. They're good." He turned. "Is she here?" "Still at Mrs. Chen's." They sat at her kitchen table. Daniel wrapped his hands around the cup, staring into it. "Her name was Claire," he finally said. "We met in college. Got married young. But I loved her. We were going to have a baby. She was 6 months pregnant when—" He stopped, jaw tight. Maya reached across the table and touched his hand. "You don't have to—" "Car accident. Drunk driver. She died instantly. The baby, our son, he didn't make it either." Daniel's voice cracked. "That was 5 years ago. I threw myself into work. Built my company bigger, but none of it filled the hole they left. Daniel, I'm so sorry. My grandfather saw what I was doing. His will, the marriage requirement, wasn't really about inheritance. He wanted to force me to live again. To take a chance." Daniel looked up at her. "I thought I could do this without feeling anything. Keep you at arm's length. But then you were sitting in that coffee shop and you looked so scared and brave. And I realized I'd married someone real. Someone with a daughter who needed saving." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. I just needed you to understand why I was so cold at first. Why I'm scared of this." "I'm scared too," Maya admitted. "This wasn't supposed to be real. But it gets harder to remember this is just an arrangement." Daniel moved around the table. He knelt beside her chair and took her hands. "What if it wasn't? Just an arrangement, I mean." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I want to try." "Really try? Not for the will. For us." Before Maya could respond, the front door opened. Mrs. Chen's voice called out, "Maya, I brought Lily back." Daniel stood quickly, looking nervous. Lily was about to meet him. Lily bounded into the kitchen, then stopped when she saw Daniel. "Mama, who's that?" Maya's throat closed. How did she explain? Daniel knelt down to Lily's level. His face softened. "Hi, Lily, I'm Daniel." "Your mom's friend." Lily studied him. "You're really tall." Daniel smiled. "Yeah, I get that a lot. Are you the one who sent me the flowers?"
"And Peanut?"
She held up her elephant. "I did." "Did you like them?" "I loved them. Peanut sleeps with me every night." Lily moved closer. "Why are you here?" "I wanted to meet you. Your mom told me you just had surgery." "You're very brave," Lily beamed. "It wasn't so bad. And now my heart works better." She patted her chest proudly. Maya watched Daniel with her daughter. He wasn't uncomfortable. He genuinely seemed interested. "Do you want to see my butterfly collection?" Lily asked. "I draw them all the time." "I'd love to," Daniel said. Lily grabbed his hand and pulled him toward her room. For the next hour, Daniel sat on Lily's bedroom floor while she showed him every drawing, every toy. He asked questions, laughed at her jokes, helped her build towers with blocks. Maya stood in the doorway, feeling her walls crumble. When Lily got hungry, Maya made lunch, simple sandwiches and fruit. Daniel ate at her tiny table like it was a five-star restaurant, listening to Lily chatter. "Can Daniel stay for movie time?" Lily asked, eyes hopeful. Maya looked at Daniel, giving him an out. He nodded. "If your mom says it's okay." They ended, up on the couch, Lily between them watching an animated movie. Halfway through, Lily fell asleep, her head on Daniel's lap. He looked down at her, something tender in his expression, and carefully brushed hair from her face. "She's wonderful," he whispered. "She is. I can see why you did all this. She's worth it." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. "Thank you for being so good with her." "It's not hard, she's amazing." Daniel looked at Maya. "I meant what I said earlier, about wanting to try. Even with the complications, a ready-made family, a daughter with medical needs and cartoon movies and butterfly drawings, especially because of those things." Daniel reached across and took her hand. "I've been alone for 5 years. I forgot what it felt like to be part of something, to want to come home to people instead of an empty house." "Daniel, this is fast. Really fast. I know, and if you need time, I understand. But I'm done pretending. I'm done with walls. Life is too short. I learned that the hardest way." Maya squeezed his hand. "I'm scared." "Me too. But maybe we can be scared together." When the movie ended, Maya moved Lily to her bed. Daniel helped, tucking the blanket around her, placing Peanut in her arms. He stood there looking down at the sleeping child with such gentleness that Maya's heart ached. At the door, Daniel turned to her. "Can I take you both to dinner? Tomorrow night? Somewhere Lily would like? Like a date? Like a family dinner?" Maya smiled. She'd love that. "And you?" "Yeah, I'd love that too." Daniel leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. But Maya didn't move. His lips touched hers, soft and careful. Not like the courthouse kiss. This was real. This was a promise. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. "I'll pick you both up at 6. We'll be ready." After he left, Maya leaned against the door, touching her lips, feeling like her world had shifted. This fake marriage had somehow become the most real thing in her life. Her phone buzzed. A text from Daniel. "Thank you for letting me in, both of you. I haven't felt this alive in years," Maya texted back. "Thank you for choosing us." 3 dots appeared. "Easiest choice I ever made." Maya checked on Lily and found her awake, clutching Peanut. "Mama, is Daniel going to come back?" "Tomorrow. We're going to dinner." "Good." Lily yawned. "I like him. He's nice. And he looks at you the way Prince Charming looks at Cinderella." Maya laughed. "Does he now?" "Uh-huh. Like you're magic or something." Lily's eyes drifted closed. "You are magic, Mama. You saved me." Maya kissed her daughter's forehead, tears sliding down. "No, baby. You saved me." That night, Maya lay in bed thinking about impossible things becoming possible, about walls coming down, about a broken man and a desperate woman finding something neither expected. Love. It had been hiding in the margins of their contract all along, in the flowers and groceries and worried texts, in the way Daniel knelt to meet Lily's eyes, in the gentle kiss at the door. Maya had entered this arrangement to save her daughter's life, but somehow they'd all been saved. Daniel from his grief, Maya from her fear, Lily from being alone. They were becoming something real, something that looked a lot like family, and, for the first time in years, Maya let herself believe in happy endings. 6 months passed like a dream. Daniel became part of their lives. He showed up for Lily's appointments holding Maya's hand. He learned to braid hair, though his attempts were disasters. He kept clothes at Maya's apartment, and she kept things at his penthouse. But they hadn't told Lily the truth yet, that Daniel was her husband. Daniel's mother forced the issue. She called one Tuesday morning. "I'm having family dinner Saturday. I want you, Daniel, and my granddaughter there." Maya's stomach dropped. Lily deserved the truth. That evening, Maya called Daniel. "We need to talk to her." "I know, I've just been scared. What if she hates me?" "She won't. She loves you." Saturday afternoon arrived too fast. Daniel came over early, looking as nervous as Maya felt. They found Lily in her room coloring another butterfly. "Hey, butterfly girl," Daniel said, sitting on the floor beside her. "Can we talk to you about something important?" Lily put down her crayon, her face serious. "Am I in trouble?" "No, baby," Maya said, joining them on the floor. "We just need to tell you something." Daniel took a deep breath. "Do you remember when your mama was really worried about your heart surgery? About how we were going to pay for it?" Lily nodded slowly. "You helped us." "I did. But there's more to the story." Daniel glanced at Maya, who nodded encouragingly. "Your mama and I, we got married, officially before your surgery." Lily's eyes went wide. "Married? Like married married?" "Like married married," Maya confirmed. "But it started as an arrangement. Daniel needed a wife for complicated grown-up reasons. I needed help paying for your surgery, so we made an agreement." "A deal?" Lily's voice was small. "Yes. At first, it was just a deal. We didn't even know each other. But then something happened that neither of us expected. We fell in love," Daniel said softly. "Real love. The kind that makes you want to be together all the time." Lily was quiet for a long moment, processing. Then she looked at Daniel with those big, serious eyes. "So you married Mama for money?" Daniel flinched. "At first, yes, and I'm not proud of it. But Lily, meeting you and your mama changed everything. I was empty inside before. Sad all the time. I'd forgotten how to be happy. But then there was your mama being so brave and strong. And there was you, with your butterfly drawings and your big heart. And suddenly I wasn't empty anymore." "So you love us for real now?" Lily asked. "Not because of a deal?" "For real," Daniel said firmly. "So real that it scares me sometimes. I love your mama, and I love you, if you'll let me." Lily looked at Maya. "Are you happy, Mama?" Maya felt tears slide down her cheeks. "So happy, baby. Daniel makes me happier than I ever thought I could be." "Then it's okay," Lily said simply. She turned back to Daniel. "Can I call you Dad, since you're married to Mama?" Daniel's face crumpled. He pulled Lily into a tight hug, his shoulders shaking. "I would be so honored if you called me Dad." Lily hugged him back fiercely, then pulled away with a sudden grin. "Does this mean I get to be a flower girl? Because you already got married without me, and every wedding needs a flower girl." Maya laughed through her tears. "We could have another ceremony, a real one this time, with all our friends and family. And I get to wear a princess dress?" "The biggest, most princessy dress we can find," Daniel promised, wiping his eyes. "Then it's definitely okay." Lily went back to her coloring like they'd just discussed what to have for dinner, not a life-changing revelation. That evening, they drove to Victoria's mansion. Victoria met them with warm hugs. "There's my granddaughter." Dinner was relaxed. Daniel's sister, Catherine, was there with her kids who dragged Lily off to play. Over wine, Victoria turned to Maya. "I'm glad my son came back to life. We were so worried after Claire." "Mother," Daniel warned. "No, let me say this." Victoria took Maya's hand. "You saved him, you and Lily. I don't care how this started. Watching Daniel with you, he's happy again." Catherine nodded. "I haven't seen him smile this much in 5 years." "It's what we built together," Daniel said, arm around Maya. "A real family." Later, watching Lily play, Daniel took Maya's hand. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "That 6 months ago I was marrying a stranger, desperate. I thought my life was over. And now? Now I found where I'm supposed to be." Daniel pulled her close. "I love you. I love you too." Maya looked up. "So what happens now? The contract still has time. Tear it up. I want a real marriage. I want to adopt Lily. I want more kids if you do. I want everything." "You want more kids?" "I want a house full of butterfly drawings and movie nights and chaos. I want to grow old with you. I want all of it, Maya." "Yes," Maya whispered. "Yes to everything." They kissed while Lily's laughter echoed. 3 months later, they had their real wedding. Small, intimate, in a garden. Lily was flower girl in the most elaborate dress. She threw petals with dramatic flair. This time, when asked if Daniel took Maya as his wife, his voice was strong. When Maya said, "I do," she meant every word. Their kiss was nothing like the courthouse. It was fire and promise and forever. At the reception, Lily toasted. "I'm glad Mama married Daniel. He makes good pancakes and lets me stay up late. But mostly I'm glad because Mama smiles all the time now. And I have a dad who loves me, even if he can't braid hair very good yet." Everyone laughed. Daniel wiped his eyes. That night, after guests left and Lily slept in their new house, Maya and Daniel sat on the porch under stars. The night air was cool, filled with flower scent. "Did you ever imagine this?" Maya asked. "When you gave me your business card in that coffee shop?" "Never. I thought I was dead inside. Thought I'd never love again. Never want to wake up or come home. And now? Now I can't imagine life without you. Without Lily. Without our family." He pulled her closer. "You know what's crazy? I spent 5 years angry at the universe, but if none of that happened, I never would have met you. Never had Lily, never known what a second chance felt like." "It's not wrong to be happy, Daniel. Claire would want that." "I know, and my grandfather knew too. He saw I was drowning and threw me a lifeline." Maya thought about that lifeline. About Mrs. Wilson's office in desperation. About signing papers with shaking hands. About a courthouse wedding that felt like giving up. She thought about how sometimes worst moments led to best things. How sometimes you had to break completely before healing. "Thank you," she said softly. "For what?" "For being brave. For opening your heart. For seeing me as more than a business deal. For loving my daughter like she's yours." "She is mine," Daniel said firmly. "The adoption papers went through last week. I was going to surprise you. She's officially mine. Ours. Lily Rodriguez Ashford." "My daughter." Maya burst into tears. Happy tears. "You didn't tell me?" "I wanted it official first. Legal. Real. She's ours now, Maya. Forever." They held each other under stars, two broken people who'd become whole. A desperate mother willing to do anything. A grieving man who'd forgotten to live. And a little girl with a big heart who'd saved them both. Their story hadn't started with love. It started with desperation and contracts and business deals. It started with a dying child and an empty man and a mother at the end of her rope. But somewhere along the way, in the flowers and groceries and worried texts, in the gentle touches and butterfly drawings and movie nights, in hospital waiting rooms and family dinners and moments of just being together, it became extraordinary. It became real. It became a family. It became love, and that made all the difference.